But do you want me to go all the way?
Whack-a-mole. No. Come on now.
I'm okay. We really are fine. Ugh.
Okay. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So what are we talking about today? I'm excited.
So today we're going to be talking about resumes, but more specifically, you know, artist or acting resumes versus finance and tech resumes, and how they are similar but also different from your normal resumes and each other's. So
cool. Let's get those jobs.
I can't take him seriously when he talks like that. I really can't. Okay.
Gotta get that paper. That's what
Please
the kids
stop.
are saying
No,
now.
no.
Cool.
Okay, so what are the normal things you would see on a resume typically?
Preferably who you are is like, you know, your name,
Yeah, probably good.
your
good
info. You always want to make sure you have your contact info.
Yes.
First and foremost on any resume. Because if people are like, oh, I like this person, but I don't know, they're going to take 5 seconds to be like, okay, I can't figure it out, I'm going to go to the next person.
Yeah.
Make sure your contact info is next to your name. And then usually you have like education, you have like experience, any experience that you have in your given field.
Some people will say within the last 5 or 10 years they don't want to see anything older than that, because then it's like, well, it's not really relevant anymore.
You also usually have special skills and things like that. So that's like the general framework for what I think a resume.
I've also seen like volunteer work and like any certifications or awards you may get. I've seen that too.
Yeah, or like some have like a kind of like your mission statement almost on the very top. So like your objective, they call it. So
On a resume?
Yeah, yeah. So they'll be like, I'm a hardworking so and so who has expertise in this and this, and I'm looking for this. Just like just one sentence what you're looking for, so people know what you're looking for. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. So okay, so how would that differ from, let's say, you're a tech business person? How would that differ from your resume that you would do for a software job?
How would that, what I just mentioned?
Yeah. How is it different from what you would do, like regular resume versus your specific resume for technology?
Okay, so like specifically for tech stuff?
Yeah.
Well, that one is very obviously technical, so you would list all of your technical things that you know.
Okay.
There's a lot of like programs and stuff that you have to know, so you would list all those out. And then one big thing that's different is you have projects. If you don't have a ton of experience, you would have some projects that you've built, kind of like a portfolio. So for that, like I did more than 4 projects, but I had 4 projects on my portfolio. So you have those 4 listed out, like the headline of what they are, and then all of the technologies that you use to build them, just to show that you know the languages and the technologies that you use to build them, that you know how to use them. And then that kind of like shows off what you can do. So like design jobs are kind of similar. You might have a portfolio where you show off, okay, these are the things I can do. And if somebody likes it, they're like, okay, well, let's hire you. So it's kind of the specific route I was going in technology lent itself to that, so I did that. And then, yeah, just any education you have, and yeah, any like certifications. I had some certifications for different languages. They basically said I know how to do this, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I put in there.
So for like an acting resume, so let's say for example the contact information. You wouldn't actually put your contact information on your resume normally for actors. Especially if you have like an agent or manager, you would actually put their contact information on there for the company, because a lot of the time they're the ones that are pitching you to get hired, so they're actually going to call your agent or manager to get you for roles and everything. But with that, you'll on usually like the top corner somewhere, you'll put like the agency, who your agent or manager is, and their contact information. Also, I know this is really weird because I found it really weird when I first started, but like under special skills, how do you have that on a regular resume? If you're an actor, you would also put if you have a valid passport and driver's license on there. I know it's weird, but they sometimes want to know if you can, leave the country, or if you can drive from place to place whether it's to get to location or they have a scene that they want you driving. So that was something that I found out that I was like, oh.
I can see that. That's actually really important. Like for the
Yeah.
person that's looking to hire you, they just want something simple and easy that you can do. So to have your license and just to be like, okay, I'm good to go on that,
Yeah.
probably helps them a lot. So
Yeah.
I can see that.
And so when it comes to your acting resume, and this is kind of with all like performing arts people, but especially with actors, not only are you going to put stuff based on like, you know how on a regular resume you put something from the most recent to your previous work before that. So technically you would do that, but in this you would do it in sections where it's like, say, I really want to go into film and television. So I'm going to start, my first section of work experience that I'm going to put is going to be film and television because that's what I want to put myself out there for the most. Then I'll say like commercial work under that and put most recent to least recent. And then I'll put like theater because I have a lot of experience in theater, and then I'll put most recent to least recent and stuff like that. And then of course some people, they say do no more than like 5 under each category. Some put literally everything that you've been on ever, although don't put extra work. They don't like when you put extra work on your resume. Unless you're just starting out and your manager specifically tells you to do so because you don't have a lot of credits, don't do it. I've done it, don't do it. What else?
I have one question.
Sure.
So when it comes to like filling out your roles in TV shows that you've done, like how do you format that? So like do you do like show, role, like how do you do that?
Well, so there are a lot of different formats people use, and even sometimes I am still trying to figure out like what the best format for it is. But normally it'll be like the show you were on first, then you put the character you did, and then you'll put who directed it. Sometimes people will put it by like the episode and the person and the director. Sometimes it'll be show, episode, director, but it's usually something along those lines. So, you know, it really depends on your preference. A lot of times if you have an agent or manager, they'll tell you specifically how to organize it, which is always super helpful, and I know I found it helpful for my last manager. But yeah, so usually you're gonna follow one of those formats. Again, if you're really not sure, just Google it. That's what I do. Or if you know, like on social media, I know I follow a lot of pages where there's a lot of actors on them. Sometimes they'll post pictures of like, oh, like this is an A+ kind of actor resume, so I would just kind of follow their formatting. So, you know, just do stuff like that. Also, one thing I forgot, so sometimes anyone who is in the actor industry or knows about the actor industry, when you apply for a job, not only do you submit your resume, but you also submit a headshot. It'll be like an 8x10 headshot. You'll staple it on the back of your resume. However, at least this is what I was taught in school, especially if you don't have like an agent or manager, because sometimes it's hard to cramp everything in one space, but sometimes they like when you put a different headshot in the top corner of the actual resume itself, because then, you know, you have your main headshot where it's like, okay, that's what they're hiring you off of, but you have that second headshot to show you like a different side of you. Or say, for me, what I would do is I would put like my commercial headshot as the actual headshot, and then my theatrical headshot in the on the actual resume. And for those of you who don't know what that is, commercial headshot is specifically for commercials. A theatrical headshot is for film or TV. So like more like drama and all that stuff. So that's usually what they tell you to do. And oh, one more thing that I forgot to mention. So a lot of actor people like when you write stats. And what I mean by stats is your measurements, like how tall are you, sometimes how much you weigh, but not all of them are that nosy. Then like, you know, bust size, waist size, hip size, shoe size, all that stuff. Usually the absolute basics are height, eye color, hair color, then bust for women, hips and waist. I was like, what did I just say? Yeah, so usually those are the types of things that they'll ask for. Sometimes, especially if you're going into a modeling agency or a modeling job, they'll ask for more specific stuff. And then obviously they'll ask like, you know, hair color, eye color, height, and then
Your
probably...
your head size.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if for
Guys
like
tend to wear more hats,
that's true.
and they also ask for your inseam.
Really, I did not know that. Well, was that for like your resume, or was that for a specific job that
Well,
you
I
went
mean,
for?
like a lot of jobs would ask for that, so I don't know if they would want it on their resume or not. But it's good to have that data
That is true.
very on hand.
Yes, I will say if you are an actor, always have your measurements with you
Yeah.
because you will get asked it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And I would always say, like, I mean, it depends on you as a person, like how often you gain or lose weight, but I would say at least like maybe once every 6 months, maybe even a little bit more often than that, like check your sizes because, yeah, I heard one story, if you've heard a Jenna Fisher story, an actor's life, yeah, she was on a show, or she talked about how she was on a show, and then they had made her this very specific costume based on her size, and I think like either the day before or the day of she was supposed to go to set, she ate like this huge, fatty, greasy meal and she actually gained a couple pounds. She didn't tell them, and then the suit or the custom-made costume did not fit, and they were not happy with her at all. So make sure you know your sizes.
Yeah.
I will say even the real, well, I can't actually say it. So, okay, I won't say the full thing because I can't say the full thing yet, but real life experience that I've had, I did a background job where it was not specifically through the show, but it was kind of like a third party like casting that casted for the show, and they took your sizes when you were saying, or when you were being onboarded. Yeah, some people had not updated their information because they worked with the show for a number of times and for a number of years. Yeah, costumes was not happy when they had to keep telling people, if this is not your size, update your size with these people, because we don't know and we don't have enough costumes to keep giving you different stuff. So know your sizes.
There you go.
It will save you. Know your size, so I'm not even kidding.
So should we go over like some general things like with resumes? Like
Sure.
I have a couple things. Okay.
Sure.
So let's just take a step back for a second. Let's just think about what are we trying to do with resumes?
Mm-hmm.
Like all we're trying to do is show our best self, right?
Yes.
So in doing that, you just want to make sure you never want to lie.
Yes.
You don't want that's not your best self. I don't care who you are. You're not a liar. I know
Do
that.
not do it.
So you never want to lie, but you also want to make sure you tell the full truth. So sometimes people actually have the opposite problem, where they don't like market themselves enough.
Yeah.
On a resume, you want to make sure that you list out everything great that you've done. And you may not think it's great, but like if you volunteer at a shelter every weekend, you may just think that's just a weekend for me. But somebody else might be like, oh, that's the different kind of person I want to hire. Like that's the difference between me throwing your resume in the trash and picking it up and being like, oh, this is one of my like prime candidates.
Yes.
So like literally think of everything and make sure that you put it somewhere on that resume.
Yeah.
That you're showing your best self and making sure it's your full best self.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people will fall short in that. They were so worried about like, oh, I don't know if I actually did that, or like, I don't know if I want to put that on there. It's like, just do it. If you are on the fence, ask 10 people, get their opinion. Preferably that work, some in the industry, some not, some random people.
Mm-hmm.
That helps. Any feedback helps. So you just want to make sure that you're showing your full self. And I'm a little more like, I would rather you be yourself and be a little bit non-traditional than to be the traditional resume. Like how I got my job was because I was different than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're different from everybody else, you will stick out in a lot of ways,
Mm-hmm.
and people will be like, oh, you're different. But a lot of people will be like, oh, you're different. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And they'll kind of pay attention to you. So I would prefer to be on a different route than the average route.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind as well. And make sure that, number one, you never have typos.
Yeah.
Definitely not. No matter what your resume is, you never want to have typos. Always check, double check, triple check, quadruple check.
Yes.
That you don't have typos.
Mm-hmm.
And then just make sure that it's your full self. Make sure your contact info, or whoever's contact info, is readily available. And you want to make sure that you're, marketing yourself and putting yourself out there. Because it's always hard to find that next gig, and you want to give yourself the best chance possible. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. That I have.
You want to wrap it up? Yeah. those are just some tips that we had, whether you're an actor or working in the entertainment realm or anything else, tech related or otherwise. Those are just some tips, and be sure to use them and let us know how they go. And be sure to like and subscribe to the video. Be sure to check out all of our other videos because we have a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And we have even more coming. So
yes.
Be sure to come back and hit the notification bell so you're always notified when our videos come out. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Oh my god, we're dumb! We're 5. That's what we really are, we're 5.
I'm done.
No, I'm dumb.
I'm done.
I'm dumb.
Dumb. Can you
I'm
go?
dumb. I knew you were gonna go there with it.
Okay, bye.
Bye!